Hey besties, back at it again with another video this time. For this video, we're gonna do a little bit more chillax. I don't want to do the standing out. Back to the formula of last video, so we're gonna do this a bit more laid back video. This is gonna be my thoughts. Kind of just came up with this like the day before, so not much thought process went into this, but that's where the fun part comes in. So if I stutter a lot, don't be surprised, but. Yeah, for this video, online on Twitter, on TikTok, at least on my For You page, I've seen a lot of discussions about who is the it girl of 2025. And in case you don't know, if you're into like movies in a nerdy way like I am, an it girl is basically like the actress who is the most popular of the year. She's not necessarily in a lot of stuff, but definitely the most talked about, the most uh, famous, I guess, the best, really. Some it girl has kind of just been a thing always. Every year has been a different it girl. Like for instance, the classic of the golden age. We had an it girl like Princess Grace Kelly or Rita Hayworth, or even back in like the '90s with Demi Moore or Drew Barrymore. So it is a lot, and I was thinking like, who is this year's it girl? Who is this decade's it girl really? Who is the leading woman actress in Hollywood right now? And to some people, like a lot of my viewers, I suspect, who gives a fuck? Like who cares? This is not. See, there are more important things going on in the world than this, but to me, this is important. Okay, to all people, all the accounts on my For You page on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and I don't know, Reddit, it's important. So that's what I wanted to look at. I gathered 30 what I consider to be the best and up and coming actresses in Hollywood right now, 2025. Also, in case you're wondering what like the male version of an it girl is, I think it's called like an it boy or it man. I think the term like leading man is better used because when we say it girl doesn't necessarily mean like the lead actress or the lead protagonist. An it girl can always just be a side character. It doesn't necessarily need to be the main girl. Like in movies most of the time. Because if you really think about it, like how many movies are there where like the lead is a woman? Like I don't want to get to like like the culture war or whatever the fucking bullshit that is, but like if you really think about it, I think like for every Captain Marvel or Black Widow movie, there's like 10 where it's Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, Spider-Man, all dudes. So it's really not a lot. Leading man I think is a more accurate term because they're the ones leading the actual movies. That's someone you actually see a lot. And this year it's Pedro Pascal. Okay, Pedro Pascal is in everything. Everyone knows it. He was in Fantastic Four. He's in Eddington. He was in The Last of Us. He's in everything. Okay, and it's not gonna change. I mean, he's got a lot of more movies next year, so he's definitely leading man of this year. I think last year or even the year before, I'd argue the leading man was Timothy Chalamet. Everyone's favorite twink. He was also in a lot of stuff, and you can tell they're the leading man because whenever you go online, you also see people complaining about everything. So that's a good way to indicate who's the leading man of the year. So for that, I'm probably not gonna do a guy version because it's pretty obvious. It's Pedro Pascal. Okay, maybe I'll do one for the decade. I don't know, but and also because that's talking about leading man is gay. Okay, here at this channel, we are straight men. We don't talk about chicks. So that's why we're getting into this. So, yeah, some of these actresses are more established. Some of you probably know them. You've probably seen them in things. So some more unknown here. For one thing I do want to point out, not to get too woke and too political, but when it comes to a leading man, age isn't really like a factor in these type of things. Like Timothy Chalamet is obviously like in his 20s, I think, and Pedro Pascal is like a well older man. So the age doesn't matter. But when it comes to it girls, it's usually the actress has to be really young. Okay, like it usually is the younger, the more likely them to be the it girl, right? So not to say they have to be like super young. Obviously, not to be all creepy or anything, but usually these actors have to be well under 30. It's kind of like the Leonardo DiCaprio thing where they have to be 18 to 25. Well, in most cases, 18 to 30. So. Not to say that 30-year-olds can be it girls. I think there's been plenty, actresses like Margaret Qualley. I think I argue she was probably like last year's it girl. She's really popular. Julia Garner, I think she's been in a lot of things recently. I think she probably has in it. But usually when the term it girl, it refers to, young up and coming actresses also. So see, this is more not necessarily to figure out who the it girl, but just kind of like a showcase of who I think is up and coming talent. Because that's always what I like to see. I like to see new faces. I like to see who's gonna be famous in the future. Who's gonna be the star. And so that's what we're gonna be. And I'm not gonna be creepy about it. I'm gonna say we are not judging on appearance. We are not judging on looks. All of these women here are beautiful. They're all beautiful. They're all gorgeous. So that's not a factor. So as you can see here, I have 5 categories. The highest is Star Girl, who I consider to be either this year's It Girl or definitely one of the leading causes of the decade. Second to that is Queen. I think she's usually very popular. People know them. People have seen them in things. So not necessarily an It Girl, like a super famous one, but definitely someone who can definitely get close to that. Maybe in a couple more years, right? The next one has a Twitter stan account. This is an actress that really only movie nerds will know about. So, and a good way to tell by that is that they have a stan account on Twitter or TikTok. A whole page dedicated just to them. That's a good way to measure that. The fourth one is she was in that one movie. It's where even movie nerds don't know their names. They kind of just don't know about that one thing. So, in fact, a lot of these actresses only really appear in one thing, at least in my, not opinion, but like as far as I'm aware or noticed. I watch a lot of movies, but I don't watch all of them. So there's definitely some who I probably haven't seen a lot in. And, again, that's just, right now they're held back because they're in their early career, but that could definitely change in just a couple more years, right? A couple more, probably by the end of the decade, I feel like they'll be more well established. And the last one is Who. This is ones that I'm not even that familiar with, so this is really, really new one. So, yeah, enough with the backstory, the lore, whatever. Let's just get into this, right? So, there's 30 of them, and we're gonna go by each one. So, in no particular order, we're just gonna start. And I know people who know me know that I run some. I might be a stan myself, so I might be some biased, but I'm gonna try not to be. I'm gonna be as open-minded, and I'm gonna be as by the books, right? Because we're not judging on my personal opinion. We're judging on the facts here. Who's been in more stuff, who is a really good actress. Okay, I guess that part is kind of my opinion, right? But like, you get the point, okay? So, yeah, again, the metric is gonna be based on how much stuff they appear in, how much stuff they're gonna appear in, their actual, whether or not they're good at acting or they're still struggling a little bit. Because I do think all of these actresses are good. They wouldn't be here otherwise. So it's more or less just early in their careers, because I think a lot of them being held back is just the fact that it's early in their careers. They still need more time to actually establish themselves and show off their acting abilities and who what can they bring to the table. So yeah, and so it was how much stuff they've been in or will be in, acting, and a big factor I think is star power, personality. Like, are they people who are very good at interviews? Do they go to a lot of Met galas or shows and stuff? That's important. If you want a strong fan base, you gotta appear in things. You gotta go to places. You gotta have Instagram accounts where you post every fucking day. That's important. Okay, some of these I think some of these don't even have accounts on anything. So we'll see about that. And I know I would add awards like Oscar or Golden Globes, but awards are kind of meaningless most part. It's just kind of the showcase more than anything. But I wouldn't really put that as a factor because the Oscars they're wrong a lot of times. So yeah. Anyway, without further ado, let's actually get into this. So the first one I want to bring up is Ella Purnell. Now, if you don't know Ella Purnell, okay. Actually, before I explain, let me just put her immediately. I would definitely put her. I put her in Queen. Yeah, I put her in Queen. Ella Purnell. I'm sure most of you, probably everyone's familiar with her. You definitely seen her something. She's been in the Fallout show. She was in Yellow Jackets. She voiced Jinx in Arcane. I'm pretty sure. She was in some couple movies. I think Ella Purnell is mostly a TV actress. All the things I named were TV, and that TV is a good starting point, in my opinion, to be a movie star. And even though you would argue Queen is too high because TV isn't necessarily movies, but I think Ella Purnell definitely is very popular. I feel like if you told someone, they'll probably know who she is. And everything she's been in is popular. Arcane was huge. Everyone was talking about that. People who I don't even play League of Legends, and I saw the show, so that just shows how popular it was. Yellow Jackets, Probably the best thing she's in my opinion. I think it's a really good show. I know she was only really in like the first season, but she's still great in it. You know, and Fallout, huge franchise. The show I think is like one of the most watched on Amazon Prime Video. So, and she is the leading. She was the leading star. She is a leading girl. You know, she's the main Fallout, and she was like the co-main in Arcane. So, I do think she has more, you know, works. I think she's gonna appear in more, but very early in her career. I wouldn't say that early. She was. I know she appeared in like the Maleficent movie. Have you guys seen that? She was like the little girl. So she was in this for a while, but I definitely think she's a really good household name. You know, Illa Purnell may not be like, you know, a name you might not click immediately, but if you think about it for a moment, actually, let me make. Oh, there we go. Okay, I can barely snap. Yeah, it's a name you won't connect with it, you know, immediately. But I feel like it's the second thing, like Illa Purnell. Who is that? Oh, this is a Fallout. She was on Arcane. Yeah. So, and not only that, you know, Illa Purnell. You know, I really like her. I'm sure you've seen the previous videos. I have a shirt of her, so you know, a little bit biased, you could say. But yeah, also Ella Purnell, she's British. In case you didn't know, you probably wouldn't know. I don't think she's been anything like British really. So and there's gonna be a lot of Brits on here, and I feel like something, especially that like a lot of my friends bring up, is why there's so many like British people in Hollywood. You know, a lot of British actors, and a reason for that is the fact that like the UK, the UK, England, they have like an entire, like not just one, but like a bunch of like universities and colleges solely dedicated to acting, you know, to movie performances and drama. I know there's like this one super famous one. I don't know what it's called, but I do know it exists. Yeah, unlike the US, I mean, we have some over here. You know, we have, you know, universities and colleges that offer really good acting, you know, courses and stuff like that, but we don't have whole schools dedicated to it really. So I think a lot of reasons why there's a lot of like, Brits over here across the pond, as they say, is, you know, because they got it. They have a whole system dedicated to getting people famous, and so they come over Hollywood and they get famous, you know. So I feel like it's all reason. And plus the US, you know, there's a problem with like nepotism, right? That's always been a problem, especially in, you know, Hollywood. You know, if you don't know, nepotism is like when, you know, a person gets famous only because their parents are famous. You know, they put them in roles. And there's going to be a lot of nepo babies in here, right? So we'll get to there. But I think the UK, obviously, nepotism is a thing everywhere, but I don't think the UK suffered nearly as bad as compared to here in the US, you know? So, yeah. First Brit, first ranking, Ella Purnell. I think she's a queen. I think she's been in a lot of good things. She will be in a lot of good things. And I think we're going to a good start. So, next one. If you know me, you know what I think about this one. Anya Taylor-Joy. Unique appearance, unique person. And this will come to a surprise to no one who knows me, consider her a star girl. Okay, Anya Taylor-Joy. She may not be super famous, but you know, everyone knows her. Even when names I bring up, Anya Taylor-Joy, people at like my job or at my school, they know her. She's the girl with the very unique eyes. That's the nicest way I must say it, you know. Anya Taylor-Joy has been in a lot of things. You know, she was in The Northman, that one Viking movie. She was in Furiosa, you know, the Mad Max. She voiced Princess Peach in the Mario movie, which I think probably her most popular work. And, you know, she was in that Queen's Gambit, the chess show on Netflix. That popped off back in 2020 during COVID. So she's famous. She is a big name. I would consider her a big name. You know, she's appeared on way more stuff than just that. You know, I really liked her in Peaky Blinders, which I think she only appeared like in 2 seasons, but she stole every scene in those 2 seasons. So Anya Taylor-Joy is great. She is. I understand. I understand your eyes are rolling, you know, but like obviously I love Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she's my favorite actress on, you know, in Hollywood right now. I think she's definitely a knit girl. If you ask me, she's a knit girl. I remember like I want to say last year or the year before, I saw people online complaining on how Anya Taylor-Joy was on everything. That is the greatest indicator of an it girl, when people complain that they're in too many things. So I think Anya has it. I think Anya, great, amazing actress, by the way. She is really fucking good. Anya Taylor-Joy like is a high school dropout. Okay, I don't know if you know that. She dropped out of high school, and the fact that she's a really good actress is just amazing. There is some debate, you know, Anya Taylor-Joy. As you can see by this image, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. Yeah, it's a blonde girl, you know, blonde, and has pretty, you know, white skin, pretty pale. So there is some discussion, some debate as to whether or not Anya Taylor-Joy is a Latina. And this is because, now Anya Taylor-Joy is Argentinian, right? She was born in Argentina, I'm pretty sure. And she even speaks Spanish. She is fluent in Spanish, and she herself identifies strongly with Argentina. She says she's Argentinian, And to me, that's enough to make you Latino, right? Like, everyone assumes a Latino has to be, a dark skin, brown, black hair, brownie, but that isn't always the case. I've known, I obviously I have black hair, but like I'm pretty light skinned, all things considered, and my personal experience, I have been mistaken as white. I know, shocking, but true story. One time, when I first started going to college, like in 2023, in my class, I was assigned a group project, and basically it was like a fake presidential ad campaign where I was the guy running for president. And in one of my, we had to film the ad campaign, right? And so one of the parts, I was reaching out to like the Latino community, because one of my other group members was a Latina, and the whole segment was the fact that she would speak Spanish to me, and I would act stupid and not know what she was saying, and then just be like the whole dumb politician, like, oh yeah, smiling the whole way through, and she would basically just call me like trash and stuff like that, right? It was really funny, but my whole group was shocked at the fact that I actually like completely understood what she was saying. And because like I was laughing at it, right? They thought I was laughing because I was just hearing gibberish, but I was laughing because she was saying it was funny, and I like even spoke to her in Spanish. Everyone was shocked by it, and they thought I was white, which is like, I like to think, I know like I sound light skinned, but I think I have a pretty, you can't really see, but like I have a pretty, Hispanic appearance. At least that's what my friends said. So that shocked me, and that's a true story, by the way. I'm not proud of being called white. In fact, I'm very sad by it. So again, there's been discussion. I know people argue like, Latinos, blonde woman Latina, but like it's possible. I've known that. Like I've seen, real fucking, Mexicans back when I went to Mexico with like gingers. El Canelo, the famous boxer, he's a fucking ginger. Mexicans, Hispanics, Latinos, they could be blonde, they could be ginger, they could be light skinned. Especially Argentinians. Have you seen Argentinians? Argentinians love to say that they're white. Argentinian people, what pisses me off about them is that they rather identify as white than Latino. All right, true story. If you watch YouTube videos of people going to Argentina and they tell them like, Latino, some of them will get offended because they consider themselves white, which is, bullshit. Like you may not be as brown, but you're brown. Okay, Argentinians. So, yeah. I just expressed my hatred, not hatred, but dislike for Argentina. But yeah, I consider Anya Taylor-Joy to be Latina. She may not be the stereotypical, because it's the stereotype, right? That all Latinos look brown, dark. It's a stereotype. Not all of them look like that. I feel like we are pretty diverse people. And she doesn't fit the stereotypical appearance. But in my book, you're born or you're, ethnically from a Latino country. You speak Spanish and, you fucking identify with that, then you're Latino. You are Latino, okay? I don't understand why it's such a huge debate. If you're from it, you speak the language, you do the customs, you're it, okay? You don't have to look Latino, okay? If a white person was born in Mexico and they grew up speaking Spanish and they grew up, fucking dressing chado and everything, you're a Latino, okay? You may not be ethnically it, but for all intents and purposes, you are, So, again, this is my hot take, or I don't know, it could be a hot take, I don't fucking know. But yeah, enough about my racial categorizations. Yeah, Anya Taylor-Joy, I think she is a great actress. I think she's a star girl. I think she's the it girl. I think she is. Her career is only starting, by the way. All right, okay, she will be in more things. She's great. I heard rumors that she was offered multiple roles in many Marvel movies, which is another good indicator that you're famous if Marvel wants you in their movies. So she got it. She got it. Anyway, next one is Storm Reid. So Storm Reid, no, I'll put her. Yeah, I'll put her in that one movie. I was gonna say who. She wasn't some. Cause see, I know Storm Reid from Euphoria. The show that everyone pretends to hate. Right? Everyone likes Euphoria. Let's be honest here. And I think she was in like an episode of The Last of Us, which is like another popular show. But those were really small roles though. Like they were really small roles, so Popular shows, not popular character. Nah, she has to be a who. She's a who. Nah, yeah. Don't get me wrong. I think Storm Reid is a great actress. I do think she is great. I didn't even watch Last of Us. I know when I say Last of Us, I mean mostly season 2. I know I didn't really like season 1. I thought it was just kind of mid, but I really liked Euphoria, so maybe I'm biased in that sense because I do really like that show. But I don't know. I just feel like if you told people Storm Reid, they have no clue who you're talking about. And as popular as Euphoria are, I feel like if you told them that, they'll be shocked that she was even in it because it's a really small role. So, as much as I hate to put down, a woman of color in society, but it's just how the way it is. I'm sorry, Stormy. Again, amazing actress. You're, amazing. You're beautiful, but it's early in the career. It really is early in the career. Again, she's mostly a TV actress, but I feel like, given more roles, given more opportunities, she would definitely be great. She could definitely be an it girl. I definitely see it. All these girls are here because they have the potential. Most of them have the potential to be an it girl, and she definitely does, but it's just too early. Not enough material to have been worked with. But she's great, though. She does have a stamina count, I know that, but, you need to be a little bit more than that girl. And by the way, I know I've already gone, 2 minorities here, but, this list is I'd say more than half of them are white, because as much as people want to say that it's minorities don't have it that hard today, they really do. I've had friends, this is the opposite of a shout out. I'm actually shouting down you. One of my buddies was not really complaining, but he brought up the fact that a lot of movies and shows have minorities in it. At first, I kind of just looked at it weird. I was like, what the fuck did you just say? But we were in the pool, and my buddy's other place's pool, and all of them kind of agreed. So I just stayed quiet, because I didn't want to be, I didn't want to ruin the moment. Okay, we were enjoying the pool, and they were complaining about that fuck. Now again, not complaining. They were bringing it up, which I still think is kind of weird to even bring up. But really, there really isn't. Most movies, again, how many movies do you know where it's being led by a minority? And no, I'm not talking about movies. I know there are movies made by black or Hispanic filmmakers, but I'm talking about franchise films, right? How many Marvel movies had a person of color as their lead, right? The ones you can really think about is Black Panther. That's it. Okay, what else? I guess Fantastic Four, right? Mr. Fantastic, that's even a team. And there really isn't that many in Hollywood, especially popular ones, because it's still hard to succeed. Okay, the beauty standard is still blonde white women, right? That's still the big beauty standard. If you're not blonde white woman, which there's a lot, right? There's a lot here, but we'll get to that. So I definitely think it is still difficult for black, brown people, women, especially women of color, to succeed in Hollywood. Is still very troublesome, especially with a certain person back as president. And as much as they want to deny it, as much as you want to say it's not that hard, it still really is. Okay, seriously, I think in total on this list I have maybe 2 black actresses and at most 4 Latinas. I don't think there's a single Asian. Okay, Asians are definitely underrepresented in Hollywood in movies. Okay, there's 6. So, which they do make up the smallest in terms of the big 4 racial group, right? White, black, Hispanic, Asian, but still they're really underrepresented. And yeah, again, not to get too political, which I am a political person if you listen to my podcast, but yeah, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I don't think it's difficult for people of color to succeed in Hollywood, and there's really not a lot of movies with them. And yeah, let's just get next to them. Okay, next one is Caitlin Dever. Yeah, she's a who. I'm sorry, Caitlin. I'm sorry, but yeah, I think really the only thing that I know her from is again The Last of Us. Which, by the way, now I'm thinking about it, I think there's a lot of actresses here who are from The Last of Us or from Euphoria also. So yeah, you'll hear that a lot more. But Caitlin Dever, she was good, but again, just almost nothing to work with. I know she's been in more things, but it's also unpopular or not unpopular, which is not really well known. And she's good. I'm not personally. I just kind of see it, but me personally, I'm not a huge fan. I think she's fine. I could definitely see her, in the future becoming better. But at the moment, right now, it's okay. Caitlin Dever is okay. She's not a bad actress. Again, gorgeous. She's amazing, but I don't know. I feel like I just need to see her more things. You know, it's hard to go off by just by one role, and not even that big of a role either. Again, I think she only was on like one episode really, but it's kind of hard to go off by just that. So I am kind of just grasping straws here, but I can still see. I see somewhat the potential. She just needs more material, more better, story or more opportunities. I guess that's all I can really say. I was actually debating and adding Bella Ramsey, who's also in The Last of Us, but yeah, as great. I think she's a good actress. There's no way in hell she's ever gonna be a It girl. Like Bella Ramsey is beautiful in her own unique way, but like she will never be a It girl. I'm sorry. I feel so mean saying that, but like I just gotta be honest with you. It's just the first thing people will bring up about Bella Ramsey is her appearance, and as fucked up as it is, and as shallow as it is, that's just it's how it is, So like all these women here, I do think would be considered fit the typical beauty standard. Even obviously blonde white women are still the highest, but all these are still, I think, fall under that. Like everyone will agree, all these girls here are gorgeous. There's some who will not agree, unlike Bella Ramsey. So yeah, Caitlin Dever though, I think she's pretty cool. I don't think I've seen a single stand account of her really. It's kind of odd because I know last time was pretty popular, but whatever, Anyway, next one. Oh, this is Kiernan Shipka. I'll put her in. Yeah, she was in that one movie. You guys can say, what is that one movie? It's Red One. The Christmas one with Dwayne Johnson. She was in that. Kiernan, besides having like arguably the worst fucking name ever, like Kiernan Shipka. What fucking name is that? What even is? What does that mean? What is Kiernan Shipka? Unique name, just horrible in my opinion. It's not a name you want to say like 1,000 times. Kiernan Shipka. She's a good actress though. I think she was in a lot of things, like in very small things, but I feel like at least in one of these you can definitely recognize it. Like you'll know her. I was like, oh, she was in that thing, especially because of such out there name. I think she's definitely a standout. And again, blonde white women fits the beauty standard. So yeah. Again, not a lot to say. There's not a lot to say about a lot of these because there's not a lot of things to say. I'm just saying, Kiernan Shipka, I think she's wonderful though, and I do see the potential. So next one, this one. This one's probably the most underrated one I have in here. And while that would mean it was put her in a who, I would say she was in that one movie. This is Nell Tiger Free. We went from the worst name to the best fucking name ever. Nell Tiger Free. That is amazing. I love that name. So we have another British one here. I mostly know her from The First Omen, the one horror movie that came out last year. Really good fucking movie. She was amazing in that. Okay. And Nell Tiger Free is definitely underrated because even I think her Wikipedia page isn't even like finished. Like I don't think they even have a picture of her in it. So, definitely I think it's a good sign of what's to come. But she was just so amazing. Like that movie was really good, and she was definitely the best part of it. And I feel like she would definitely be like a scream queen. Like a horror. The actresses that mostly do horror. I feel like she definitely has potential of being the next scream queen, which I'm all for it. If she wants to do horror. She's definitely gonna be like the next Drew Barrymore. I can definitely see that, and it's just a matter of time, honestly, because I think she's great. Very good at like doing American accent. Like seriously, I know most British people are good at doing American accents, but her was really good. Hers was really good. Like I couldn't fucking believe she was British. But yeah, Nell Tiger Free. I like saying that name, Nell Tiger Free. Nell Tiger Free. But yeah, I think more roles, more horror roles. I think she's definitely made for that. She will be a It girl in no time. So yeah, that's what we got. So anyway, next one. Next one is Zendaya. And yeah, you already know. She's a star. She is a star, baby. Zendaya, she's been in a lot of shit. Okay, she was in the Dune. She's in the fucking Spider-Mans. She was in that one like Disney Channel show where her career started. There's like 2 of them. She's great. She is amazing. Zendaya is amazing. People will say she's overrated, which yeah. I don't necessarily think of being overrated is a bad thing, but people definitely complain that she's in everything. Okay, but she is so good. Zendaya is such a really good actress. She like sells every single role, even every single movie she's been in. Or, like she was in Challengers, a movie I really love. She was in Euphoria, a show everyone loves. Zendaya is definitely in it. Everyone knows Zendaya. Everyone, if you go to a homeless person who's never stepped foot in a movie theater, you told them, what do you think about Zendaya? They will know exactly who you're talking about. Alright, she's definitely the most successful young black actress. Probably because she's pretty light skinned, right? I'm just saying it's easier for a more light skinned person to succeed than a darker skinned one, right? Not to be too woke, but it's true. Anyway, yeah, Zendaya, again, she's amazing. People complain about her. She's great. Okay, she is great. Since I'm telling a lot of stories, I remember this one friend, I guess you can say, in high school. Another girl, by the way, someone who's also like pretty into being about she was woke. She was also woke. But I remember she like complained about Zendaya, which is like kind of surprising by that, because this is like a very liberal chick. She loves, you know who I'm talking about. It's the fucking type of girl. She dyed hair, she had dyed hair, was gay. You know what I'm talking about. And the fact that she complained about it, because this was back even in like 2021, 2022. Zendaya wasn't even that popular at that point. She was complaining about her, that she was like annoyed seeing her, which is really shocking. You think like someone with pink dyed hair and really loves talking about how they're gay and stuff would like really be glad to see a woman of color succeed in Hollywood, but instead she was complaining about it, which I never really understood. Zendaya, hey, I can understand the complaint about seeing her and a lot of things, but like what? First off, this girl I'm talking about complained that her titties were small, which I don't. In high school that was funny as fuck, right? But like, yeah, putting down it was funny, but like that's such a shallow thing to say. I'm a respecter of women, so I was very heartfelt hearing that, heartbroken hearing that from another respecter of women saying that. But anyway, yeah. Again, I don't understand Zendaya. Hey, she's great. She's beautiful. She's dating Tom Holland, and she's good. People always complain because they can't stand to see someone succeed. Okay, but Zendaya is fantastic. I want to see her in more things, if I'm being honest. She is great. I want to see her in more things. And I'd argue, I want to say she's the it girl of any year, really. Because, yeah, she's been in popular things, but not too many things, I feel like, because I've seen people complain about Zendaya being a lot of things, but I feel like we're getting too early in that. I feel like we haven't really reached Zendaya mania, I feel like there should be more stuff. So I'd definitely say, actually, you know what? Maybe she wasn't a girl. Maybe like last year, I'd say she was in a lot of movies last year. Maybe she was already an established it girl. But let's see if she can, hold the title. But yeah, I still think Zendaya's great. I love Zendaya. I'll stand by that. So yeah. Anyway, next one is Sophie Thatcher. Sophie Thatcher. I would put her and has a Twitter stand account. Sophie Thatcher, who, by the way, I don't know about you, but I feel like Sophie Thatcher is a very British name. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I think of like Margaret Thatcher, that one prime minister all British people hate. So, but no, she's American apparently. Sophie Thatcher and Elle Purnell are actually like really good friends in real life. Fun fact. Like I always see them two posting about one another. Like they're always hanging out. They're always doing shit. But yeah, Sophie Thatcher. She's also was in Yellow Jackets. So I think the friendship came in. She was actually in a lot of things this year, wasn't she? She was in Companion, that one like AI robot movie where she was the robot. Actually, I think that was about it. But that movie was pretty popular and that did very good. So I think she definitely has the makings of an it girl. She's also a very unique appearance. I would say I'm a big fan of it. I feel like she has a lot of like the Hollywood, again, not to be mean, plastic surgery phase. I'm just saying. But yet again, I feel like people say Anya Taylor-Joy also has the same thing. So who cares? But yeah, I think Sophie Thatcher is really good. I feel like she hasn't really convinced me though that she can really, because I feel like in most roles she kind of just plays the same character or is the same type of character. She never really, changes outside that mold. So I'm still waiting for her to change my mind, prove me wrong, show me that you are still capable of doing this other stuff. So yeah, I think she is pretty popular though. I've seen a lot of stan accounts on Twitter and TikTok. I don't think she's really a name that you say people will know. Actually, no, I think so. Actually, if I feel like I say people probably know her, at least by her unique appearance. So, yeah, I think she's really good. I really want to see her more stuff, and I want her and Ella Purnell to kiss. Anyway, next one is Thomasin McKenzie. This is another underrated one, and honestly, I would put her in has a Twitter stan account. Thomasin McKenzie, like I said, is underrated. She was in not a whole lot of popular things. Like she was in Thoroughbreds, and again, not a lot of popular things, but she's really fucking good. Okay, she is really good. She's a great actress, and again, she needs to be more stuff. She just needs to be more stuff. I think she has a lot more potential to the other ones, like Kieran Shipka and Nell Tiger Free. But I mean, like she's I think a better actress. Oh, excuse me. But again, more material, more years, more career time, and I feel like she definitely has the makings of an it girl. And yeah, again, not much to say. Thomasin McKenzie, I think she's great. Just needs more roles. So anyway, next one. That is Freya Allen. Now, Freya Allen is definitely that she was in that one movie. And it's not even a movie; it's a show. She was in The Witcher, which I love The Witcher. I know not a lot of people like the show. Not a lot of people like the games. It's kind of a series you really need to hard to get into because it's heavy lore, very different. But I love The Witcher, and she plays Ciri in it, and I like her. She's really great. She was also in that the newest Planet of the Apes movie, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It came out last year. So I definitely think she has the makings of it, especially she's now branching into movies compared to TV. But I think we're still a long way to go for that, And also Freya Allen is British, just to throw that out there. But yeah, I like her. I think she's arguably one of the better things about The Witcher, the show. And I definitely want to see her in more things. Freya Allen has a very... She kind of reminds me of like a fairy. I don't know. It's kind of weird to explain, but she just looks like a fairy. I imagine a fairy would look like Freya Allen. So it's like elf. Like I just think of her as like some like magical being who lives in woods. Maybe it's because Ciri's kind of like that in The Witcher, but this is kind of how I see her. But yeah, I think she just needs more roles. I don't think most people know her because she's in The Witcher or she's in Planet of the Apes, maybe one of those two. But again, I feel like we can definitely see her in more things. I definitely think so. So next one, that is Florence Pugh. Florence Pugh, I want to say Stargirl, but is she really that popular? No, I think she's a queen. Florence Pugh is definitely a queen. Yeah, I agree. She's obviously super popular, right? She's in Marvel. Like I said, it's a good indicator. She was on Thunderbolts. She played the new Black Widow. Most people in horror know her in Midsommar, but she was also really good in that. And just a bunch of other things. But Florence Pugh was also British, another one. She is a good actress, but no, she is amazing. I don't know what I was getting with that. I was trying to think something negative because I want to not glaze all these entirely the time, but like some of these are just great. Florence Pugh. I'm personally not a huge fan of Florence Pugh because she's too goofy. Okay, she goofs around too much. Like I'm not being honest, she's goofy. Oh, she was in Oppenheimer also. That's what I was trying to say. But she's definitely popular. I feel like people know Florence Pugh. She definitely knows. Everyone knows her, at least in something. Marvel and indie films. Not, I guess Oppenheimer wasn't really indie, but you know what I mean. And I feel like she'll only get more popular. I feel like she's kind of the same vein as Zendaya, but like just a couple years back. Like maybe by the end of the decade, she'll definitely be a lot more popular than she is now. And yeah, not a whole lot of things to say. I think Florence Pugh, I personally don't like her. It's just, again, like I said, she's too goofy. I feel like in a lot of movie roles, except for like Midsommar, when she gets serious, she can get serious, but I always feel like she'll do best in like comedies. Like not comedy, but like I feel like Marvel type movies, like action movies. I think she definitely works best in that. I feel like that's her best field, which is kind of a hot take maybe, but that's what I say. And yeah, she's definitely super popular though. I feel like she just needs one moment where people complain that she's in everything to become a star girl. I feel like I haven't really seen people complain about Florence Pugh being a lot of things, so I feel like that's what stopping me from putting her in Star Girl. But I feel like we're close to that. We're definitely close to that. But yeah, I definitely think she's a queen now. Right now, she's definitely a queen. She's definitely a well-established name, so I'm comfortable putting that one. Anyway, next one. That is Millie Bobby Brown. Now, Me personally, first I would probably put her and has a Twitter stan account. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of Millie Bobby Brown. You know, everyone knows her from Stranger Things, right? And they might know her from that one like Sherlock Holmes daughter movies. I don't know what they're called, or some other shit. But Millie Bobby Brown is such, in my opinion, in my honest, humble opinion, I think she's a very mediocre actress. Like if we see Stranger Things, her whole character is weird and awkward, right? And that's why I think Millie Bobby Brown's mid acting works with that character because the character's supposed to be weird. So her, you know, mid acting, which comes off across as weird and awkward, fits the character well. And not only that, but she doesn't even speak that much, right? Like even in the earlier seasons when she was a kid, I think her name was 11, right? In Stranger Things, yeah, 11 doesn't even talk that much, which again, the best. Millie Bobby Brown is not a very good actress, and yeah, I just don't like Millie Bobby Brown. I know she was like super sexualized, right? There was like people, I think it was like not on a website, but there were accounts on Twitter dedicated to her turning 18 so they can immediately start, thirsting over her, which is very problematic. I think Millie Bobby Brown's like same age as mine. No, Millie Bobby Brown, she just turned like 18, got married, so that's very concerning. Obviously, I don't know the whole story, right? I don't know Millie, but I'm just saying it's kind of problematic. But yeah, I don't see. I'm in the opinion that as soon as Stranger Things ends, and it will end by the end of this year, it will end. Millie Bobby Brown will just kind of be phased from off. She's on this because she's popular, right? She has Twitter stan accounts. People know her. I could see that she might be in a group, but honestly, I'm not predicting. I feel like she'll definitely fall off as soon as Stranger Things end. As soon as Stranger Things end, because Millie Bobby Brown, I mean, she's rich. I think her husband is rich, so it's not like she has to worry about anything. But Stranger Things is definitely carrying her career. And I feel like once it's done, people kind of realize that, yeah, she wasn't really that good. Millie Bobby Brown is also kind of controversial because she's made it clear that she doesn't even watch movies. She's first off, she doesn't see Stranger Things, which is not a big deal. Plenty of actors don't even watch their own work. But she said she would rather, like, she can't even barely pay attention to, like, those 5-second TikTok or Instagram reels, let alone a movie. And she's pretty public and she's admitted that many times. So I feel like, a part of being acting is the fact that you love movies and the fact that you can't even put any effort to actually watch any movies. I feel like it's oh my god, like how many fucking ads are in this thing? Like, Jesus Christ. Whatever. But I think that a good indicator of your acting abilities is the fact that you don't even care about the field you even work in. So, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not that big a deal, Unk should just calm down. But yeah, I do not really like Millie Bobby Brown. I think she's super overrated. But yeah, mid-actress, she's gorgeous, don't get me wrong. And I can say that Millie Bobby Brown is almost basically the exact same age as me, born in the same year. She's the exact same age. Okay, all of these are in their 20s. I made sure of that. So, yeah, Millie Bobby Brown. Good riddance. Anyway, next one. That is Lily Rose Depp. Where do I put this Nepo baby? No, I'm gonna put her. No, she definitely is. I'm gonna put her right here. She was in that one movie. Lily Rose Depp. First off, most people know her from that one horrible show with The Weeknd. It was called like The Idol or some shit. Where it's just like sex. It's just The Weeknd having sex and it's awful. And she was awful in it. Horrible. She was in Nosferatu though, which was really good. In fact, I think she did great, but like that, I don't think that really forgives it. Because that's basically it. Lily Rose Depp hasn't really been in a lot of movies. And I guess she's fine. She's a fine actress, I guess, but like I just don't. First off, she's like a Nepo baby, right? But on both sides. Her dad is Johnny Depp, everyone's favorite problematic man child. And her mom, I don't remember who she is. I know she's like some French actress. So big Nepo baby, which is already, a thumbs down for Nepo babies here. You not support trust fund babies. But yeah, I don't know. I just Lily Rose Depp, not a huge fan. Yeah, I don't know. She'll probably get popular. I mean, like, her dad is Johnny Depp. Of course she's gonna get fucking popular, okay? Even if Johnny Depp kind of got like, canceled. As much as I hate saying that word, or lack for a better word, I feel like she definitely could succeed. Lily Rose Depp is also, I think she's like bisexual, right? I know she dated Timothy Chalamet for a little bit, and I'm pretty sure she's dating some like female rapper right now. So yeah, I think she might be the only LGBT actress so far. So yeah, anyway, Lily Rose Depp. I mean, she's okay actress, but I'm just not a big fan of her. I can see her becoming a fucking it girl, just the fact that both her parents were big actors. But for talent on her own, I don't think so. I just don't see it. I don't see it. I really don't. But I don't know. Maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe she'll blow me away in a future movie. But for the moment, I'm not a big fan. So yeah, next one. Now this is definitely gonna be controversial. But my acting thoughts aside, she is definitely a queen. Sydney Sweeney. Everyone fucking knows Sydney Sweeney. Okay, everyone knows who she is. I feel like people know her just for her rather than her actual movie roles. Because what has she really been in, right? She was in Euphoria. She was in that one movie. I think it was called like Anyone But You with Glenn Powell. And like that's about it, really. I think she was in one nun movie. It was called like Immaculate or something. But people mostly know her just for her. I know it's just like, at the time of this video, there's some controversy. Fuck, I'm just gonna say, and Sydney Sweeney's like a Republican, a Trump supporter, which, not everyone's perfect. Everyone has flaws, I have friends who are Trump supporters, so I can't be hypocritical right now. But like Sydney Sweeney, again, another hot opinion. I don't want to say mid, but she's definitely not that good. Not that amazing of an actress. Hot take. But let's be honest here. Most people who are fans, especially dudes, like most dudes who are fans of Sydney Sweeney, they don't give a shit about her acting or her movies. They like her because she got two fucking, let me show you my shirt, right? It's like a fucking, fucking shout out to my college for real. She got some fucking 2 watermelons on her fucking chest, right? And hey, don't get me wrong, I like busty women like any straight dude would, any lesbian woman would. But like, we can't base merit solely on the fact that she got some 2 fucking pumpkins in that bitch, Because I get Sydney Sweeney, like, most dudes who say they love Sydney Sweeney can't even name like 5 movies she's been in, okay? And I don't know, maybe she hasn't even been in 5 movies, honestly, but one cannot deny her popularity, Sydney Sweeney is literally what I was talking about, blonde white women is still the beauty standard. Sydney Sweeney is definitely the beauty standard today. Busty blonde white women. And hey, I like a snow bunny as much as any person would, but we gotta be honest with ourselves, Sydney Sweeney is not that good of an actress, right? I don't know, hot take. I mean, I like Euphoria. I like her in Euphoria. In the movies I mentioned, she was also fine in those, but especially with this controversy going on right now, like the whole like the good genes shit, I feel like it definitely damaged her reputation, which is crazy because I don't even know. Like, I don't think it wasn't even really her fault. I've seen Sydney Sweeney. I've seen her more in commercials than actual movies. I've seen Sydney Sweeney so many fucking commercials, and she's always fucking. Sydney Sweeney. Another thing is that she always plays into her sex appeal, which I mean, she can do that if she wants, right? Like it's her fucking body, her choice, her body, her choice. But I don't know. I mean, if you have to rely a lot on sex appeal to like sell product and stuff like that, then again, it's not really good merit, right? Because people only like you because you're sexy, not necessarily because you're talented or because you're good at something. And I feel like Sydney Sweeney is playing on that too much. Like, she needs to prove that she isn't a dumb hot blonde, right? She needs to be in better good movies, which I feel is gonna be a lot harder now considering being a Trump supporter in Hollywood is like a good way to get you blacklisted. But I don't know, maybe she'll come from this, controversy on the other side. But yeah, Sydney Sweeney. Again, most people just like Sydney Sweeney because she's sexy, because she has big boobs. Okay, very few people actually give a shit about her acting career. I care about acting careers. Okay, and again, I can't deny she's popular. Me personally, if this list was entirely based solely on acting, she would definitely be in the lower tier. Okay, but yeah, that's just what I think. That's my opinion. I am straight. I do like busty women, but I am also a man of merit, and I have to point out when someone isn't very good at their supposed job. So yeah. Anyway, let's move on from that. It's too controversial, you know. Please don't dislike. Please don't leave angry comments. Okay. Next one. Now you get Mikey Madison. Mikey Madison. I'll put her in this Twitter stand account. Mikey Madison. No, also, because if I put them, this doesn't literally mean that they have or do not have a Twitter stand account. I'm just saying that this is the type of people who will get one, which is like a sign of popularity, right? Again, I'm just saying that they do or do not have one. Just ones that I feel like they probably, it's more just like saying, okay, don't take that too literal. But Mikey Madison is a really good actress. She was in Anora, amazing movie, one of my favorite movies of last year. She won an Oscar for Best Actress. So that's, I said I'm not really putting awards as a category here, but still a noticeable thing to point out. And yeah, Mikey Madison is really fucking good. She's an amazing actress. She is great. Again, I really only know her from Anora. So again, one thing to base her off, not very good, but more roles, more time. She could definitely be an it girl. She has the makings of it. She already won an Oscar. Okay, like it's so easy to become an it girl after that. But I think Mikey Madison is very like low. What's the word I'm looking for? Like low key, I guess. Like she has no social media, and she herself, I think, said in interviews that she only wants to appear like in one movie a year max. So, I mean, you know, if she wants to do that, go ahead. Entirely her choice. I feel like it will probably, you know, take longer to become a it girl after that, but I guess she doesn't care. And honestly, that kind of makes me like her even more, you know. But yeah, Mikey Madison, I get not name. People will know. I feel like if you say, do you know about Mikey? They'll think she's a dude. But that's a girl we're talking about, okay? Mikey, short for Michaela. And also Mikey Madison, I think, is Jewish. You know, just to point out. I like pointing out their origins, you know. But yeah, again, not a lot known about her. I think before Anora even came out, her like Wikipedia page, they even like have her birthday listed because no one knew. So yeah, you know, I still think she's pretty popular though, especially among movie nerds. So I'm comfortable putting her on that. So next one is Haley Steinfeld. You can tell by the name she's Jewish. So what would I put her in? What would I put her in? Oh my god, this is actually hard. Where would I put her? She hasn't appeared that many to be a star girl. Is she a queen? Actually, you know what? I think Haley Steinfeld is a queen. She was in Sinners, was like a hugely popular movie this year, and she was like in it. You know, she voices Spider-Gwen in the Spider-Verse movies. She voiced I think she voiced the fucking redhead in Arcane. What's her fucking name? Violet? No. Was it the other chick? What? She voiced another character in Arcane. I'll put it in the post, but I definitely think she's definitely queen. She's definitely popular. She's married to Josh Allen, the football player. I think that's his name. So I think she's definitely popular. And yeah, Haley Steinfeld is also just an amazing actress. She's so fucking good. Okay, she is great. And I could definitely see her becoming even more popular, even more famous. You know, Haley Steinfeld has got it in the bag. I really like those interviews, or like Shamik Moore, who voices Miles in Spider-Verse movies, is like so down bad for Haley Steinfeld, and it's so obvious and it's so fucking terrible to watch him just horribly flirt with her, and you can tell she's not interested at all. And it's like the funniest fucking thing you can watch. It really is. But yeah, Haley Steinfeld, she's great, gorgeous. I can't wait to see her in more things, and I think she definitely has the makings of a nigger. She's gorgeous. She's Jewish, so yeah, amazing. So next one. Oh, we got a really underrated one. So underrated. I'll put her in. Actually, I'll put her in Who. And that's Amber Mid-Thunder. Amber, I also know her from like the Legion show, which is this is like X-Men kind-of-ish Marvel show on the air before Disney Plus was a thing. She played Monica. She was really good in that. I really liked that show, and she was in it, so I really liked her in that. Actually, you know what? No. I'll put her in. She was in that movie because I remember she was in Prey, the Predator movie, where like the Predator fights a Native American. She was the Native American girl, which by the way, she is in fact Native American. I think she's Lakota. I think so. That's the one. So yeah, another woman of color. Would love to see that, especially since we can't be like have a whole section of white women. Literally, all the girls here are white, exception of like two black and Latina and now Native American. But yeah, I really like Ember Miranda. Honestly, she's not particularly amazing of an actress. If I'm being completely honest, but I like her vibe. She just has a nice vibe, you know. And definitely not a popular name by all means, but I think she definitely makes up for it by actual acting. Unlike Lily Rose Depp, I feel like Lily Rose Depp is pretty popular by name, but now I think her acting kind of puts her down. Amber Method, I think it's the opposite, you know. So she was in Novocaine, another movie that came out this year with the one with Jack Quaid. She played the love interest, and that was interesting. I feel like she's definitely the type of actress who'd be good at playing love interest. You know, not to like put her down. I know a lot of actresses hate just playing the helpless, you know, princess need to be saved in the castle shit. But I don't know. She just has that vibe to her. Like she's the girlfriend in every movie, you know. So not a very nice thing to say, but like that's what I'm getting. You know, typecasting is a serious thing, you know. So that's what I'll say. I want to see her more stuff though. I think she definitely deserves to be more things, and yeah, I really like her. So next one, and that's arguably the blondest and the whitest of all the blonde white women, Elle Fanning. I personally would put her in Stargirl. Now Elle Fanning, I know her from The Great, which is a really great show on Hulu. She was also in well, she's gonna be in the new Predator that's coming out. She's gonna be in this like other movie I'm really looking forward to called Sentimental Value. She was in the Death Stranding video game, the new one. So she's in a lot of things. She's in a lot of things. I've kind of been seeing people complain about it, not real a whole lot, but I mean, this year alone, she was in like she's coming on the Predator. She was in Sentimental Value. She was like some other movie I'm forgetting, tip of my tongue. She was in a video game. She is popular. Okay. And she's only gonna get more popular. I only expect her to be even more roles. And again, she fits that, you know, beauty standard, blonde white women. And also, I think her husband is like a movie producer, so he's definitely putting her in stuff. And yeah, she's a great actress though. Don't get me wrong, she's an amazing actress. She is incredible, and every single thing she's in, she's incredible. So I'm not. I guess she kind of nepo baby. Her sister Dakota Fanning is also an actress, but I argue Elle is more popular or more well known than Dakota. You know, not to say Dakota's a bad actor. I think she's great also, but I definitely prefer Elle. I mean, Dakota isn't on this, so it goes to show. But I think Elle Fanning, we're only gonna see her in more things. She's definitely gonna be in a lot more things, and you know, I'm all here for it. So I can't wait to see. And yeah, next one, that is Kaylee Spaney. Kaylee Spaney, again, really odd name, but honestly, I'll put her. No, I gotta put her in this. I'm sorry, but Kaylee Spaney, honestly, kind of a weird name. I wouldn't say it's bad as Kieran Shipka, but I don't think it's as good as Nell Tiger Free. But Kaylee Spaney, she was also in the newest Alien movie that came out a while ago, and she's gonna be a lot more. I think she's gonna be in Beef season 2, which I just started watching. Beef, great show by the way, amazing. Can't wait to take this long to actually watch it. But Kaylee Spaney, first off, I think she definitely has, again, not to be mean, she is gorgeous, but she has a very plain face. You know, she doesn't have an appearance. I think all of the actresses here have an appearance where, it sticks out, you see her, you know her. Kaylee Spaney, I don't think really has that, you know? And honestly, no, I'm sorry. Actually, I'm bringing down Kaylee to the Who, because now I'm thinking about it, I feel like a name like that, no one's gonna know who the fuck you're talking about. And even then, her only real big role was the Alien movie, so. Again, I know she's gonna be more things, she's gonna be in Beef season 2, and more time, but people will know her, but I think at the time, right now, 2025, August, whatever date, not so much right now. I already like Kaylee Spaney, though. I think she's great, but she definitely needs to be in more things. So, we'll just leave it as that. So, next one, and that is Sadie Sink. Sadie Sink, I'll put her, and she was in that one because she's also in Stranger Things. Stranger Things is fucking huge. She plays the ginger girl in there, and really that's her own role. She's been in more things, but everyone knows her at Stranger Things. See, this is kind of where it gets weird, because I would argue Sadie Sink is a way better actress than Millie Bobby Brown, but I can't deny she's definitely less popular than Millie Bobby Brown. If people know Millie Bobby Brown, not everyone knows Sadie Sink, which is, again, I think it's bullshit. I think Sadie Sink is way better than Millie Bobby Brown. I think she deserves the more love and affection. But hey, that's where we're at, you know. I think she's also the only ginger here. I'm pretty sure. So, really the real minority here is redheads, natural redheads. But I like Sadie Sink. She's not that popular. I feel like people won't really know who she is. More time, I feel like it's Stranger Things. Opposite Millie Bobby Brown. If Stranger Things end, I feel that would be the end of Millie Bobby Brown's career. Sadie Sink, no. When Stranger Things end, it will only be the beginning for her. Okay, so Sadie, I'm all for you. Yeah, but right now, not so much. But I'm certain in the future she will be. So yeah, next one. This one's one I really want to get to, and that is Isabella Merced. She is, I was gonna say star girl, but not. She's a queen. Isabella Merced, our second Latina here. Isabella Merced is incredible. She was in Superman. She played Hot Girl. She was also in the Alien movie with Kaylee Spaney. You can kind of see whose career is more popping off. And she was on The Last of Us, popular show. And I think she's getting to be in a lot more shit. She was Dora. That's where her career started, as Dora. How is she not a queen? She definitely deserves to be here. Isabella Merced is amazing. She's from Peru, and she definitely fits the more stereotypical Latina vibe. Dark skin, brown hair, black hair, and yeah, she's amazing. I really like Isabella Merced, a personal favorite of mine, honestly, and I definitely think she has the power to be a star, an it girl, just more leading role. She hasn't really played a leading role, but I think she'll definitely get there. She's definitely getting there, and I can definitely see it. I'm all for it. I want to see it. I want to see her succeed and become popular because I really like Isabella Merced, and I can't wait. I can't wait. She's really amazing. She really is, and I think she's doing music. Honestly, I think she's starting kind of singing. So hey, why not? Fuck it. Why not? Why not? So anyway, next one, Sophie Turner. Another Sophie. Most people know Sophie Turner in Game of Thrones, which is why I definitely think she deserves to be a bit higher. Yeah, like I said, she played Sansa Stark in Game of Thrones, so she's definitely, I feel like everyone here, she's definitely the more well-established one. She's been in the game way longer than everyone else. But I'm really enough. Like Game of Thrones, for as huge popular of a show it was, none of the main actors in the show really, their careers didn't really pop off. Like Amelia Clarke, Kit Harington, you don't really see them and stuff, which is, again, maybe it has to do with the fact that Game of Thrones are one of the worst fucking endings for any show ever. But it really is weird, the fact that one of the most popular shows ever, especially when it was airing, it was fucking huge. And the actors didn't really get that bigger career, I don't know, it's just kind of except Peter Dinklage. I think he's the only one that actually really succeeded above, everyone else, not that really much. Sophie Turner kind of did. She was in the X-Men movies, back when they were a thing. So she kind of succeeded a little bit more than that. I think I think Cindy Turner got married and had a kid, so she's kind of set back from acting. Not necessarily retired, but not focusing on him right now. So respect for that, be a mother. But I think if she comes back, I think she was a great actress. She was great, and she should definitely come back because I think she has the makings of an it girl. Or one could argue she already did, but I don't know. I wouldn't go that far. But Sophie Turner, I like Sophie Turner, another Brit, so. Yeah, I can't wait to see more of her. Honestly, can't wait. Anyway, next one. And what? Sorry, I was remembering who these people are. It's 30 people. It's kind of hard to remember all these names. Actually, now I'm thinking about it. Tomasa McKenzie is a Kiwi. She is from New Zealand. So, I just want to bring that up because it's funny. How many people do you know from New Zealand? And it's funny because they're also called Kiwis. So anyway, next one is Daphne King. Yeah, I'm putting her in the Who. I'm putting her in the Who. People, and even I did, everyone knows Daphne King. People only know her because she played the fucking Wolverine girl. I think it's X-23 or X-24, something like that, in the Wolverine movie. She was in Logan and she was in the Deadpool Wolverine. That's really it. That's her entire career, is really just that character in those movies. She's obviously been in more things, but everyone knows her for that. Daphne Keane is really mean. I don't know, she looks mean. She has a really mean appearance, am I zooming in right now? Mean appearance. Which, by the way, oh my god, look how zooming in. Oh my god, all these beautiful women. Oh my goodness. Anyway. Daphne Keane. There's been some controversy also on whether or not Daphne Keane can be considered Latina. Because Daphne Keane is a Spaniard, right? She was born in Spain. She's from Spain. She speaks Spanish. But again, me personally, I wouldn't consider Spaniards Latino because they're from Europe, right? Europeans are white. They're white. They speak Spanish, but I mean, I did say speaking Spanish was a criteria to be Latinos, I guess. No, they're white. They're white. Europeans are just white, right? No exceptions. If they were like born in Latin America, then I guess. But like, no. I consider Spaniards white, so she's not Latina, not in my eyes. Okay, Anya Taylor Joy is more Latina than Daphne Keane, even though Daphne Keane definitely has more like black hair. No, she's still kind of pale, but yeah. Anyway, regardless, I mean, she was good in those movies. She didn't talk a lot in those because she doesn't actually speak that much English, as far as I'm aware. So definitely humbling her back from Hollywood. She was fine though. She's good. I mean, I think she's gonna be more things. I saw like an interview where she was talking about more roles she was getting. So we'll see more of it. I think she's definitely the youngest one here. I think she just barely turned 20. So I think the fact that she's even on here is pretty surprising. But yeah, I feel like maybe might have the companies of a nut girl, but right now, not really. Not really. You're pretty underrated. So yeah. Anyway, next one, and this one's kind of controversial, but I included her anyway, and I did say her. Keep that in mind, because we're talking about Hunter Schafer. Hunter Schafer is definitely going on the Has a Twitter stan account. Hunter Schafer. Now, some of my more, right-leaning viewers might say that Carlos, or Barlos, my name is Barlos, why did you put Hunter Schafer on here? Hunter Schafer was born a man. Her DNA or fucking genetics, whatever the fuck they say, is this man. And I say, shut the fuck up. Okay, kill yourself. Hunter Schafer is, if you don't know, Hunter Schafer is a trans woman. Male to female, was born a man, is now a woman. And Hunter Schafer identifies as female, and the whole point of being trans is to be the other gender, And I don't want to be mean. Hunter Schafer prefers to use she, her pronouns. I will use he, she, her pronouns, Hunter Schafer is trans. I'm including her in actresses. She is, by all accounts, a woman. You might say biologically she's not a woman. I say biologically you're fucking stupid. Okay. Biologically, you might say she's not a woman. I say you're biologically a dumb fuck. Okay, but that's beyond the point. And I'm clear enough. I like Hunter Schafer. I think she is great. And mostly people only know her for Euphoria, which I can't really put her up any higher. She's a pretty good actress, I guess. No, not that particularly great. If I'm being completely honest. I think she was in that movie called Cuckoo. I honestly don't know why I know that. It's kind of a random ass movie that came to my head, but yeah, I feel like Hunter Schafer is definitely the one being held back by the girl due to the fact that I think the idea of having a trans girl, a trans woman, be an it girl, maybe considered too radical. Might be too like, oh my god, a tranny. Actually, oh fuck, I shouldn't say that. I think it's gonna start. I'm gonna censor that. But. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of controversial. Right now, everyone's going to agree. People are going to be mad at the fact that, a transgender might be seen as an it girl. But, I mean, Hunter Schafer is a girl. She is a girl. She is a trans girl, but she's a girl. And she could be, I think, in a perfect world, she would be an it girl. Because she is, again, not that great of an actress, but she's definitely a good actress. And she's popular. I know she has a very dedicated fan base. Euphoria is popular. She's in other stuff. She's gonna be in more stuff. So I can't wait to see it. And plus, just look at her. Hunter Schafer is beautiful, right? We cannot deny that. She is gorgeous. Gorgeous girl. Oh my god, look at all these gorgeous women. Yeah, anyway, back to it. That next one is Rachel Ziegler. I would put her in. I will put her. No, I'll put her in. People know Rachel Ziegler as Snow White, but I feel like that's only if you show them a picture. If you say Rachel Ziegler, they probably won't know who she is. Yeah, no. Again, I love Rachel Ziegler. Another personal favorite of mine. Another Latina. I think Rachel Ziegler is Colombian, but And not being completely honest, she's not again that amazing of an actress. She's good. I think she has a really good like singing voice, but she hasn't really appeared in a lot of things. Like I think her best movie was like the West Side Story remake, or I think it was her very first movie, and she was great in that. But her subsequent roles, not so much. I think she was in Snow White was awful, and good actress. She was awful. I'm sorry, like I love you, Rachel, but you were also pretty bad in that. She was in like that one Shazam movie, terrible. Also, just a pretty mediocre career. If I'm being completely honest. I don't know. I'm being really mean. I like Rachel Zegler. I know she's also like the victim of like the whole cultural war thing. Like people saying Rachel Zegler because she said she didn't really like the original Snow White, which, I mean, hot take I suppose, but everyone has hot takes. I don't know why people are like trashing her particularly on it. And what's happening to Rachel Zegler is what happened to like Brie Larson back when the first Captain Marvel movie came out. People, right wingers getting mad, blaming women that Mary Sue that she's like spoiled or whatever some shit. There's so many YouTube accounts where they put like the thumbnail was like Rachel Zegler, where they get like the worst frame of her possible, and some shit like Disney fires Rachel Zegler, loses them $5 billion, some bullshit. It's not even true. It's not white. They're really good actually, for the most part. And I feel like it's really affecting her status as a Negro because the whole fucking cultural war, like all the fucking Trump supporters hate her. I think she's mostly doing like plays. I think she's like doing plays right now, just taking a break from like movies because like she's getting hated a lot, which I don't think she deserve. The movie some of it was terrible, but like she does not get that needs that much hate towards her. I think she's still good there. I would love to see Rachel Zegler be Negro, but with the way the climate is in terms of politics and the whole cultural war, I just can't see that happening anytime soon. I feel like she should definitely get back to acting, be in more movies, because she has it. She has it in her. She has it. She has a really beautiful singing voice, a really good singing voice. She definitely needs to be more musicals because she has that voice in her. Very angelic hearing. By listening to that show, I feel like I'm sent to heaven. It's really amazing. And again, personal favorite of mine, I love Rachel Zegler. I follow like too many unhealthy stand accounts based around her, but I can't deny and say that she isn't particularly that amazing. And the whole cultural war, like I said, I can't stop talking about it because it really is relevant to this. But that whole thing. But anyway, next one, is Millie Alcock. Millie Alcock, amazing name. Millie, I'll put her. No, no, I can't. See, I want to put her in Queen. Actually, I'll put her in Queen right now because Melody Alcott is Supergirl, right? And so the thing is, her movie hasn't come out, but I feel like she already nailed that with Supergirl. I feel like Supergirl is gonna be a success. I already know Superman was a success, so I see no reason why Supergirl won't. And plus, she was in House of the Dragon. House of the Dragon. I mean, it kind of fell off. I don't really hear people talking about it. Me personally, I'm not a huge fan of it. I stopped watching after season 1. But back when House of the Dragon era, that shit was huge. Like I really did bring back hype for Game of Thrones. And she was only in the first season of House of the Dragon, as far as I'm aware. But hey, she was great in that. I feel like she's definitely a household name. She's also Australian, by the way. Just want to point out, she's an Aussie. How Australian? No, Australia, mate. Kangaroos are Vegemite. So that's her. I'm putting her. She right now she probably has a Twitter stan account, but because she's gonna be Supergirl, I already know she's gonna be I already know she's gonna be popular. I already know she will be a household name. It's just a matter of time. I know most of these actresses. I keep saying I know they will, but Millie Alcock 100% is gonna be. So I'm putting her queen now, just so I can be more right in the future. So, Millie Alcock. Amazing, beautiful, great actress. Again, she was definitely the best part of House of the Dragon. I honestly stopped watching House of the Dragon because she stopped appearing in it. If Millie Alcock was in the show the whole time, I would have fucking watched that every single fucking day, every single episode. I love Millie Alcock, and she was in the one for literally 10-second one scene. She wasn't Superman. She was amazing in that, and she's gonna be amazing in Supergirl. And her and Isabella Merced should make out. Anyway, next one in that is Emma Mayers. Emma Mayers, I'm gonna put her, and she was in that one movie. Emma Mayers, people only know her from Wednesday, right? The show. She played like the pink girl. I don't know what fucking names. I saw also the first season Wednesday. Not really my cup of tea. I feel like Wednesday is the type of show that people watch the people who unironically buy their clothes from Hot Topic and they go to Spencer's just to look at dildos for like an hour. That's the type of people who like Wednesday. People who say they're edgy, who say they like dark humor, but then are really defensive when you actually make dark humor jokes. Those are the type of people who watch Wednesday. The people who think they like dark humor, think they're edgy, but when they're really the softest person. Not to be edgy myself. It sound like I'm hardcore or some shit. Wednesday's just not my thing. I can definitely see why people like Wednesday a lot. It's just not my thing. I'm not goth. I'm not alt. That's just not my thing. But Emma Mayer, she was also in the Minecraft movie, which I feel like is the only reason why she's even considered an it girl, because the Minecraft movie was super popular, right? Everyone knew, fucking lava chicken stuff, shit like that. So I think Emma Mayer is okay actress. She's pretty good, but. Again, not much to go off on. Super early into her career. She just needs more stuff. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, her co-star, I think, is way more popular, which we'll get to right now, or soon enough. But Emma Mayers, I think, definitely second fiddle, but I can see it. I can see her becoming an it girl. It's just a matter of time. So anyway, let's move on. Next one is Maya Hawke. Maya Hawke, see, I don't put her in, and she was in that movie, but honestly, I think she'll be in the Twitter account solely because I feel like more people know Maya Hawke for her music rather than her career. And just to get this out of the way, Maya Hawke is like a super nepo baby, okay? Her dad is Ethan Hawke, famous Oscar-nominated movie actor, and her mom is Uma Thurman, even more famous movie actress. In fact, I even have a poster of Uma Thurman. Let me show you. Look, it's right there. Okay, yeah, you saw it. But yeah, fucking Uma Thurman, very famous actress. That's her mom. And Ethan Hawke, very famous actor. That's her dad. No wonder she's an actress. No wonder she's fucking in Stranger Things, which is the only thing people know her about. Which, to be fair, I think is the only thing she was in, really. But again, most people know her for her music. I personally don't really listen to it. I'm sure it's great, but yeah, I don't feel like she'll be a really big actress. I feel like she'll definitely focus more on music, which to each their own. I feel like she probably makes good music, I'm sure. And yeah, it girl, maybe. If she really focuses on acting, I feel like she has the qualities of an it girl. She's a pretty good actress for the most part. Really hard to go off on because, again, the only thing she's really been in Stranger Things. But, unlike Sadie Sink, I think will succeed when Stranger Things end, and Millie Bobby Brown, I think, will fail when Stranger Things end. Maya Hawke, I'm not sure though. I'm honestly not sure. I feel like if she continues that way, she might succeed. But if she stops after Stranger Things, obviously her career is gonna be dick. She's gonna stop. But like, maybe it'll be for the best. I don't know. It's hard to say. But regardless, I feel like she's still popular again, mostly for her music, but popular enough. So yeah. Next one, that is Jenna Ortega. Jenna Ortega's a star. Okay, she's a star. She is an it girl. Jenna Ortega. People know her as Wednesday. Her most popular. She was in other things. She was in the newest Beetlejuice. She was in that one really fucking terrible movie with The Weeknd. She was in that one fucking really terrible movie called Miller's Crossing. Or Miller's Girl or some shit. I think it's called Miller's Girl. Fucking weird ass title. She was also in that really awful movie with the unicorn. She's in a lot of bad movies. Okay? Jenna Ortega, as an amazing... Because Jenna Ortega is a great actress. As an amazing actress she is like a horrible agent. Like she appears as an absolute fucking dog shit. Like she needs to fire her agent and get a new one. Because that is great talent being wasted, okay? But, yeah, Jenna Ortega, she's everything. People love Jenna Ortega. People say she's overrated. Again, like kind of like Zendaya, I feel like they're kind of in the same ballpark. But I think she's great. I think she's beautiful. I think she's amazing. Jenna Ortega, she's definitely our generation's Winona Ryder, Our go-to golf girl. But she's great. She's great. Jenna Ortega, I think she's also Mexican. But, like, people also don't call her Latina because she doesn't speak Spanish and... She's kind of whitewashed, but I mean, she's brown. Yeah, she's kind of brown, black hair, fits the stereotype, and yeah, she is Mexican. She identifies as it, so she's Mexican in my opinion. And yeah, I think their Jenna Ortega is definitely popular. Again, once she gets a new agent, she can actually get really good fucking roles, and she will be the biggest star you will ever see. Okay, we're getting there, but only time will tell. But yeah, I think Jenna Ortega is great. I've kind of seen people complain that she's in a lot of things that not really, kinda. But we'll see. Wednesday, super fucking popular. Probably the second most popular show on Netflix after Stranger Things. I think it's probably arguably better than or more popular than Squid Game. But Jenna Ortega, I love Jenna Ortega, and I can't wait to see more of her. So this is the not 30. I do have one surprise, one little odd ball, but I'm from opinion that if she does get into acting, she will be the biggest it girl ever, and that is Sabrina Carpenter. Sabrina Carpenter is not really an actress. She was in that one Disney Channel show, which by the way, a lot of these started in Disney Channel, right? Like Zendaya was in Disney Channel, Jenna Ortega was on Disney Channel. I think Isabella Merced had like a really short show on Disney Channel. Didn't last long, or was it Nickelodeon? One of those two fucking things. Sabrina Carpenter was in that one Disney Channel show, so she is an actress, and I haven't seen it. I know nothing about it, but the clips I've seen, she was good. And I know she's a singer, she is singing, she's a musician. I'm saying if Sabrina Carpenter makes a comeback to acting, if she goes into a movie, because a lot of singers go into acting, right? Like Lady Gaga did some acting, right? Fucking Dua Lipa was like in one movie, So Sabrina Carpenter just needs to get back to acting. She needs to get into a popular movie, and she will be a huge. She is probably the biggest it girl in music. Like I don't know if music has their own version of them, but they probably do. But she's definitely that, right? Like last year, her espresso thing was the fucking biggest thing ever, right? So Sabrina Carpenter, I think definitely she is basically an it girl. She just needs to be in a movie, and she will be an it girl, and she'll be so popular, and people will love her. People really love her. I like her. I'm not a huge fan of her music, but I like her personality. I saw that one Christmas special on Netflix. She's a really fun person, and I just think she just needs to come back to acting. She needs to come back, be in big roles, and she will be the biggest it girl you will ever see, you will ever know. So yeah. But anyway, that's all the 30 girls. I do have one more surprise, and that is, how do I think all of these compare to who I consider to be the greatest it girl of all time, ever in Hollywood's history? You might be asking yourself, who is that? Who can that possibly be? Well, I think the answer is pretty simple. That it girl. It's not Aubrey Hepburn. It's not Marilyn Monroe. It is, in fact, Judy Garland. Judy Garland is by far the greatest it girl to have ever existed. Most people only know her Wizard of Oz, but Wizard of Oz, not only do I consider Wizard of Oz to be one of the greatest movies ever of all time, it is arguably the most popular movie ever, right? Everyone knows fucking Wizard of Oz. Again, the homeless man who's never stepped foot inside a theater knows what Wizard of Oz is. He's probably even seen it, honestly. I don't know how he's seen it. He probably fucking saw it though. And Judy Garland, obviously she's been in more things, had an amazing career, amazing actress, one of the greatest of all time. And I'd argue she is the greatest it girl ever. Do I think any of these have the chops to make her? Probably not, but I feel like, top here, Anya Taylor-Joy, Zendaya, Elle Fanning, Jenna Ortega, Sabrina Carpenter, I feel like they could definitely get at least somewhat close to the level of Judy Garland, who I consider to be the best. But yeah, the ranking I feel like is pretty accurate, I think the current it girls definitely are the big names, Anya Taylor-Joy, Zendaya, Elle Fanning, Jenna Ortega, Sabrina Carpenter. Actresses and queens who are probably just like one really good year away from being an it girl. And all I think are already super popular, already amazing, And those are Ella Purnell, Florence Pugh, Sydney Sweeney, Haley Steinfeld, Isabella Merced, and Melly Alcock. Next actresses, I feel like these are definitely popular in their own little circle. They just need to be more stuff, and they just need to be, focus more on their careers, and they can definitely be an it girl. Those are, Sophie Thatcher, Tomasa McKenzie, Millie Bobby Brown, Mikey Madison, Sophie Turner, Hunter Schafer, and Maya Hawke. These actresses, super early in their careers. Again, people almost only know them for one thing, and even then, I argue it's not even that popular. But they are still good. They just need more time, more roles. And those are Kiernan Shipka, Nell Tiger Free, Freya Allen, Lily Rose Depp, Amber Midthunder, Sadie Sink, and Emma Mayers. These actresses now, for The Who, these still have a long way to come. They're still good, but they're not popular. They're not really a lot of things people would know. And we're just very far away from it. We'll get there, but it's a long road ahead of us. And those are Storm Reed, Caitlin Dever, Kaylee Spaney, Daphne Keane, and Rachel Ziegler. Let's get a close look of everyone here. Look at that. And yep, I think that's the final rankings. I wonder if you guys agree. Hope you enjoy me yapping about all these women. I hope I don't come off as a creep. I feel like I'm gonna come off as a creep for this, but it's fine. It's just something that I wanted to talk about. which I mean, this video I think is gonna be super long. I think it might be the longest one. But it's just something that I've thought about. I want to talk about because I've been seeing a lot of discussion about it, at least on mine. And yeah, it just gives me time to talk about, you know, actors that I really like, actors that I think are amazing. I want to shout out, you know. It's always great to see, you know, women succeed in a male-dominated field, even if only I think 5 leads are actually, you know, women of color, which I think there should be more. I might do a guy, you know, leading man's, but I feel like that's less interesting because, I mean, who really cares? Okay, I made this video because I cared, not because you guys cared, because I care. But do I care about leading man's? Not really. But yeah, I hope you enjoy watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.
¿Te gustan las patatas? A mí también. Me gusta más la mayonesa que el ketchup. ¿A ti qué te gusta más, mayonesa o ketchup? Ketchup, ¿verdad? Lo sabía.